finish. I mean, everything about it is so exquisite.
Oh, thank you.
Look at this.
Here, get this side over here. That shows it better. You can get it.
So let me like this. Look at this. These props are it's a work of art.
Thank you.
And tell me some things about this parquet finish. How did you do it? How
Well, the way it was
do you line
done,
things up this well?
the way it was done is it was all straight grain. Well, the fuselage is built as a box with 3/16 45-degree hard balsa on the inside, and then sheeted with 16th hard sheeting top, bottom, and sides back to the peg. And at that point, I took, and then I realized I was going to put the 45-degree. Well, it's actually more than 45-degree. The way that just lining up the 1/32 sheet on top of the 16th at angles, at the right, at right angles, and I had to cut each piece individually. So I made a template and cut each one of them out. And the only way I could attach them, you couldn't use CA. I didn't want to use white glue or athletic resin, but I figured the only way to get them down and get them down really good was to use thin Duco. Oh. And that's what I did, is I thinned out some Duco, and I went one at a time, starting from the front, and just one, and I just kept stacking them up all the way down. And the Duco was, actually the fuselage had already, I'd given it 2 coats of dope, so the Duco stuck to the dope real well.
Oh, that's of course.
On the straight grain.
Smart, yeah.
Right. So that way I had to stick without having it be a problem. It stuck real nicely, and I was able to just go, just stack them one at a time, back and forth, all the way down.
So it's straight grain, A grain, like this.
It's
along the fuselage.
Actually, it was the straight grain sheets were 16th hard C grain.
Oh, okay.
So it's for stiffness.
Okay, and then this adds.
And then I added the 1/32 on top, and then rounded it all into the 3/16 in the corners.
Oh, so cool.
And inside the fuselage, you can see.
Yep, you have to carry more chairs.
Thank you for all your work.
Can we see?
If you can see.
I can see it. I want everyone to see it. This is gorgeous.
Just want to say bye to Bob.
Yeah, I gotta head to the house, get theirs before these guys.
So,
do their
and how about
paperwork.
this prop unit?
Bobby.
This is all handmade, huh?
Oh yeah, I did. Oh. So
right.
yeah, the prop is done pretty much old school, but it works.
So this is laminated, or is
No,
it carved?
it's all carved.
Okay.
All carved out of
Single
block.
piece. Okay.
Yeah.
Carved out of it.
And then fiberglass. I fiberglassed it, and then I tissued
Oh, I
it.
see. Okay. Okay. Fiberglass plus tissue. Very nice. What is the prop diameter here? It's like
The diameter is 22.
22 is, yes.
Right.
My guess was 22.
And they were to the specs that Roger Simpson had on the block. The same. I did the block exactly like Roger Simpson did, and then the shape might be a little different, but not much.
All right. And tell us a little bit about this tissue work.
My tissue work. I love doing tissue work. I do it on all my models, and it's Japanese tissue, and I draw the design on paper first, and then I lay the tissue underneath, and I cut out all the tissue. The blue and the red and everything is all cut out at the same time.
Okay, so you
everything
layer them.
matches.
I
It's
see.
layered. It's underneath my drawing, and I tape it down very tightly. And I try to make it as close to the size of the fuselage so there's no overlaps, and I get everything so it blends into the corners.
So when you dope it down, how do you make sure that these things don't get all?
Well, that's the
what
other thing.
That's what happens to me.
I measure.
Cutting it is one thing,
I'm cutting it, and then I measure everything so I know where I'm at. I put little marks so I can get them on the marks.
Oh my God!
And the fuselage
It's a work of art.
also underneath the tissue. The fuselage is covered with 3/4 ounce fiberglass.
Oh, is that so?
Yes, this is all fiberglass on the sides and the bottom.
Oh, no, yeah, I
Back,
see the grain
back
now.
to here. Yep.
Yeah, I see. Yeah.
You can see it, yeah.
I see
And
the
that
weave,
was
yeah.
doped down. I did not use any kind of epoxy or anything. It was doped down. The fuselage has probably got 10 coats of dope on it. and then it's got one coat of what they call Fuller plast on the top of all that, just
Very
to seal
nice.
it.
Very nice. It's a work of art. This tail is so unique.
And the rudder is very different.
Yeah, very different. Very nice. Can we also take a quick look at the wing too?
Sure.
Because that had some beautiful tissue work too. Thanks for doing this.
Yep. Oh, no problem.
And this is the Mirage
I knew that was going to happen. I had a feeling.
wing. It's a geodetic wing. And you were saying something about these stars and holes and
Well, I love doing tissue lettering and tissue trim, and part of my forte is doing stars, cutting out stars. Now, on all the stars, I draw it all out on paper first. I draw the outline of what I'm doing, and then I measure to get right to the back of the spar, and then I lay all the tissue underneath. I draw all the stars out and space them the way I want them, and then I draw the I draw in all my decoration, and the blue has to be cut right next to the red, so it blends into the tips. And same with the stars. The stars are all cut out of the red. It's covered in white Japanese tissue first, and 4 coats of dope on that, on the white, all white. And then the red is overlaid that, but the stars are cut out of the red, and each star is cut out with a straight edge, so I get all the points on the stars perfectly. I don't freehand any of them.
Yeah, you listening to this?
unbelievable.
So each star is I use a 6-inch straight edge to cut each and every star, every angle,
Oh my God.
all the way down. And I do, and what I do.
Let me show everyone how many stars we have here. So this is the whole entire wing is covered with stars, an inch apart probably, right?
This is what you call a labor of love.
Yeah, absolutely. This is more love than labor probably. if it were not for love, this couldn't happen. This is beautiful. Beautiful. And this is again all cut together, blue and red and
Well, the red. This is printed on tissue. I print
on
this
the
on
white
tissue.
tissue.
The Roger Simpson is printed on tissue.
Oh, on a different tissue, and then it's doped
Yeah,
on.
then it's doped on, or
Okay.
I use thinner to put it on.
Okay.
And same with the 64, I printed that also. That way I got exactly the lettering I wanted. I could have cut that out of tissue, but I didn't. But this is
No, I don't think you could have.
the lettering. The lettering is printed. I get the font I want on the computer, and I print it out on the size and everything I want, and then I use a font that I can that has shading on it, and then what I do is I put that underneath my tissue. I mean on top of my tissue on blue and red, and at that time I start cutting out the tissue. So I cut out each letter individually. So I cut this one first. It's all taped down together on a board, on a mat, those cutting mats. And then I cut the red out, and then I cut the blue. The blue is cut separately. Each piece is cut separately. And then I stack them over, in line, right? I cut all the letters out and I put them on the mat, so I know how to put them back in where they all go. And then I tape my stencil from the cutting of the paper. I tape it in place where I want it on the wing,
I see. So you
and then
use it as your guide.
as for my guide. That way they're all in line and right how I printed it. And I put the red down, put the red M down, and then I butt up each piece of blue up against the red. Okay, and then I go on to the next letter, because some of the letters
Yeah, they're overlapping.
are overlapping.
Yep.
So you got to do one at a time.
Yeah.
And then until you get those done, then you go on to those numbers.
Very nice. So
Again,
This
this
is printed
is
tissue,
printed on
right?
tissue, and when I print it, then I cut it as close to the object as I can,
yep.
and then put it on with thinner. And same with that flag right there.
Very, very nice. Thank you for taking the time.
Oh no, you bet.
Explaining all this. I'm sure people will enjoy this.
Well, it's, you
this
know-
is the winning model. Oh, and
And here's the stabilizer.
the stabilizer. Let's look at the stabilizer.
A little more simple, but it blends in with the wing.
Yep. The winner of the Vintage Wakefield event. Beat me.
Not by much, I didn't.
That's okay. It doesn't count.
Just a little bit. I tried hard to do that.
That was a fun contest.
Oh, that was absolutely
And this is a
great.
gorgeous model. Thank you very, very
Thank
much.
you for doing that. That was
Oh,
fantastic.
yeah. Thank you. $31.
Was not all that poopy, and it should have been